All right, so as we begin to do our final walkthrough, let's take a moment to acknowledge where we've been so far. So we talked about point of sale and what are the critical components that need to happen at the point of sale. So your design associate goes and lands a job, and while they're in the home, they complete a production video, they complete the customer needs form, they make sure that that the proposal is absolutely complete, and they give the customer a copy of the project roadmap. Come into the office, and the design associate creates a work order, creates a job jacket for the folder, sits down with the production coordinator, and they have a handoff where the design associate goes through all that information. Any paperwork, anything that was given to them is in that folder. The production coordinator then takes that, they organize the job. They organize the job by buying, by ordering all the material from the suppliers, organizing if there's stuff that's going to come in from local sources, getting that taken care of, and getting everything ordered. Organizing the schedule, so they've got their folder that they're moving down through the boxes, but they've also now got the schedule either on the whiteboard or on the Excel version of the whiteboard. They're communicating with everyone. So the customer knows when things are happening. The customer is getting regular emails or phone calls or text messages, depending on how they want to receive communication. They're getting that communication from the office manager or the production coordinator. All that stuff is coming to the customer as the PC is now talking with installers, making sure that vendors are lined up, and is essentially just making sure that everything is going to go smooth on the day of the install. A few days before the install, the material is delivered so that it has time to properly acclimate. The installer delivers the material to the job site and has a copy of the work order with them when they do it, so that they have a chance to walk through the job site. This might be a beautiful opportunity for the production coordinator to go ahead and introduce the customer to the installer. That way, on the day of the job, they don't have to be there. The installer can just go to the job site. So the material's delivered. The installer has a chance to do one final walkthrough of the job site before they're going to show up on the day of the job. The day of the job, installation is sweet. Everything is done according to plan. You've done a great job managing your installers. So you have you've got the installers with their contracts. You know that they're insured. You've got a communication plan laid out with them. You've vetted them properly, and everything's going to be sweet. Now the job is finished, and you're going to go through a final walkthrough with the customer. So everything's done. And it's normally the production manager, the production coordinator, the office manager, whoever it was that's managing the installers is the person that typically does the final walkthrough. So this is done the day the job is complete. This is not the 2-week happy walk. That's different. The final walkthrough should be done the day the job is complete. And then we will close out our session in production by talking about closing the job, and we'll do that in the next module. So what does this final walkthrough mean? There is a form, should you choose to use it, an installer sign-off sheet that just basically says that everything's done. Making sure that the site is clean. I mean, the last thing you want to do is leave a bunch of trash at the customer site. So let's make sure that the site is clean. Doing a final walkthrough with the customer. So the production coordinator physically walks the job site with the customer. So maybe you did 3 bedrooms and a hallway. So you're walking through those 3 bedrooms and taking a look at how everything was done. Does the trim look the way that it's supposed to look? Does the floor look the way it's supposed to look? Is this the right floor? Delivering the customer folder, giving them a final walk survey, marking the job once they get back to the office, marking the job as being produced. So going into Salesforce and marking it as produced. If there happens to be a couple little punch list items that need to be done, there's a piece of trim that's maybe not quite right, it's no problem. We can go back and get that taken care of. And the production coordinator will do that, and receiving the final payment. All right, so what does this installer sign-off sheet look like? Well, it's a very simple sheet, and no big surprise. You'll find it in Floor 11 in the production folder. That installer sign-off sheet is completed at the end of the job. And again, this is one of these sheets that, to be fair, there's not a ton of franchisees that are using this. But it is a good tool, especially in the beginning, or maybe in the beginning when you're using an installer for the first few times, just to have checks and balances, right? So what are the things that from the original work order, what are things that needed to be added or taken away? So maybe the original work order neglected to put that there was furniture move. So you make a note, we have to pay the installer for furniture move. Maybe the original work order called for furniture move, but when you got there, you realized that the customer had already moved all the furniture. So that's something to be taken away from the original work order. Was the area clean and organized? If there was painting that was needed, was it done? Was the furniture moved? Was there a plumber involved? Yes or no? And everybody signs off that they've done their piece, right? This creates an accountability. It creates a track record for every contractor that was there. It's just a check off to make sure that the work was completed satisfactorily before you're paying these contractors. All right, we mentioned a final walkthrough with the customer and delivering the customer folder. What's in that folder? Well, a final invoice, and by final invoice, normally what happens here is that you don't necessarily have a separate document for that. Remember, we talked about earlier when the DA is getting everything ready that they print 2 copies of the signed proposal, 1 copy for the customer and 1 copy for your records. Normally, that copy that goes to the customer can substitute as the final invoice. Now, occasionally you'll have a customer that wants an invoice. It's no problem. Doctor something up in Microsoft Word and give them an invoice. It's not a big deal. But normally, you simply give a customer a copy of the signed proposal and write on it that they've paid in full once they've paid in full. That signed, I'll show you in just a moment what that signed, completed looks like on the bottom of the proposal form. If this is a great time to put in the folder warranty info. Now, if you go out to Shaw and you look at their carpet warranty, it prints off 50 pages. Well, I don't want to print 50 pages every time I hand somebody this folder. So instead, it might be that I simply put a note that says, here's a link, or this is where you can find your warranty information on the Shaw website, and I will email it to you afterwards so that the customer gets an email with a link in it. Any product data maintenance. So how do you keep this stuff clean? What's important to know about this particular product? A referral card, right? I want to ask the customer for referrals, so it's good to put a referral card in there. A final walk survey, a coupon for the next project, and maybe you've got a cleaning kit or a gift that you give with them. So what does this final walkthrough look like? The office manager or the production coordinator shows up at the job site at the end of the day when the job is finished with this folder in hand and says, hey, I'd like to take a final walkthrough with you. Can we walk the space together? They walk through the space with the customer, pointing out details. I like the way this was done. I like this. I like this. The customer's really happy. Great. I've got a little bit of paperwork here for us. I've got 2 copies of our proposal. 1 copy's for you, 1 copy's for me. I'll ask you to sign this one saying that the job is complete, and I'm going to sign this copy and give it to you saying that it's been paid in full. Great. I see that we have a balance of whatever it is. Did you want to take care of that with a check today? Perfect. I can take that from you. Inside this folder, you will find your warranty information. This is how you can find it on the Shaw website. I'm also going to send you an email that has an electronic link so you can get to it very easily. This is all of your care and cleaning instructions. So this is what you would do to keep this floor clean. There is a referral card in here. Our business is built on referrals. So if you have friends or family that neighbors that are looking at having their floors done, we would really appreciate that referral. We're going to take a quick survey. Here's a coupon for your next project, and I've got a gift for you. Okay, it's simple, right? What does this survey look like? Well, this does not conflict with the NPS. It doesn't prevent the customer from going online and writing you a 5-star review on Google. This is something that it creates a little bit of accountability, and it helps the customer know right off the bat that we practice continuous improvement. We want to know exactly what it looked like. It also gives you a hint. If there was something that wasn't right, maybe you can make it better before they do go onto Google and write a review. So did our installers arrive during the promised time range? Now, it's not like you can go back and fix that. If they came 2 hours late, you might be able to have a discussion with the customer, but it's not like you can fix that at this point. But for example, is the home free of trash? Well, if it's not, it can be. So it might be that, yeah, they left a bag of trash over here. Great, I'll take that with me. So maybe it's not something that you can fix, but maybe it is something that you can fix. Did the installers leave at a reasonable time each day? Did they maintain a professional and desirable attitude? I won't read these one by one for you. You can read them. But you can see that this is an opportunity for you to be able to do a final walk questionnaire with the customer, and it gives the customer this impression, which is real, that we practice continuous improvement, that we want to get better. So once all this is done, where does the customer sign off? When you go into Salesforce and you print your proposal from Salesforce, in your PDF settings, you've got your signature box, which will print your signature, their signature, the DA signature from the tablet. But this customer satisfaction box, if you will add this into your sections that are going to print, it does this number. It says the work described above has been completed to my satisfaction, and that'll print at the bottom of the form. So this gives you the ability to just have the customer sign that the job is done. They sign it as being complete, and you're good for your next records, right? A simple coupon for the next project. Some of you may have these $250 gift cards. If not, you can come up with something. Just give them a little gift card that they can pass along to friends and family and neighbors, right? It's a great way of branding. Look, you're going to realize, if you haven't already, you're going to realize that at the end of the day, this is a sales and marketing company. We just happen to do floors. And you've got to take advantage of every opportunity to market this business and to give customers the opportunity to give you referrals. This is part of the way that you drive local business into your business. As always, the resources that we talked about, the final walk survey, the customer checklist, all that stuff that we talked about, it's all in that production folder in 411. You know where to get to it, so I'm not going to take us there today. Instead, I'm just going to thank you for your attention. Thank you for working through this with us. We've got one more module in this production series. Thanks.